Canada's main stock index opened higher on Tuesday in broad-based gains led by financial stocks, with higher oil and gold prices lifting shares of material and energy companies. The Toronto Stock Exchange's The Canadian dollar strengthened against its U.S. counterpart on Tuesday as oil prices rose to 3-1/2-year highs and the greenback broadly lost ground. Story continues below advertisement. The U.S. dollar fell against a basket of major currencies after the Chinese central bank moved to calm nervous foreign exchange markets following a fall in the renminbi below a key psychological level. Canada runs a current account deficit, so its economy could be hurt if the flow of capital slows. The price of oil, one of Canada's major exports, rose after Libya declared a force majeure on some of its crude exports. U.S. crude prices were up 1.5% to $75.07 a barrel. The loss of Canadian supplies has helped lift the price of oil but could restrain domestic economic growth in the third quarter. Canada is also contending with slow-moving talks to revamp the North American Free Trade Agreement and a trade dispute with the United States. The White House said on Monday that Canada's decision to enact tariffs on $16.6 billion worth of American goods in retaliation for U.S. tariffs on imports of Canadian steel and aluminum would not help its economy. The Canadian dollar was trading 0.3% higher at $1.3149 to the greenback, or 76.05 U.S. cents. The currency traded in a range of $1.3133 to $1.3207. Story continues below advertisement. On Friday, the loonie notched a two-week high at $1.3131 after a surprise expansion of the domestic economy in April, and business optimism raised expectations for a Bank of Canada interest rate hike next week. U.S. stock indexes opened higher on Tuesday as shares of energy companies rose on the back of rising oil prices, aiding Wall Street in a shortened trading day ahead of the 4th of July holiday. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 52.21 points, or 0.21%, at the open to 24,359.39. The Nasdaq Composite gained 25.94 points, or 0.34%, to 7,593.63 at the opening bell. Trading volumes are expected to be lower in the day as markets will close at 1 p.m. ET, ahead of the 4th of July holiday. Oil prices climbed more than 1% after Libya declared force majeure on significant amounts of its supply, though rising overall U.S. and OPEC output dragged on markets. But the specter of trade turbulence continued to loom over the markets, with President Donald Trump on Monday warning the World Trade Organization of doing something if United States is not treated properly. Story continues below advertisement. Investors are wary of a July 6 deadline when Washington is set to impose tariffs on $34 billion worth of Chinese goods, with Beijing expected to retaliate with tariffs on U.S. goods. Wall Street, however, was set for another firmer session as investors positioned for strong Silicon Valley earnings before the reporting season starts next week. Mark Luschini, chief investment strategist at Janney Montgomery Scott in Philadelphia, said the Chinese yuan firming was aiding the sentiment as it initially provided some support for equity prices in Asia and Europe and is now spilling over to the United States. Major state-owned Chinese banks were seen swapping yuan for dollars in forwards and immediately selling them into the spot market to prop up the Chinese currency, four traders said. Today is going to be a day where we have a short session for both fixed income and equity investors pre-holiday. Luschini said, "There's not going to be a lot ultimately taken away from today's trading regardless of what direction the market goes in." Reuters.